Boom. Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of WEYU TV. Today, we have an incredibly special guest with us, a partner of ours leading up to a very important time. We have Hovik from the United Nations High Commissioners for Refugees on the line. Hovik, welcome to WEYU TV. How are you doing?
Very good. Good to be with you here.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. And very excited about the work that we're doing together. I think first I would love to ask you to introduce yourself and kind of talk a little bit about your role and your history with the UNHCR.
Thank you. It's good to spend these few minutes with you. So as you said, my name is Hovik. My last name you couldn't pronounce, so I will say it. It's Etiemezyan. And I'm Armenian, born in Lebanon, from parents who were born in Syria, grandparents who were refugees in Syria 100 years ago. And I've been working for UNHCR since 2006, mostly in our emergency response between the Middle East and Africa and North Africa. And I've been heading the UNHCR's innovation service since mid-2019.
Fantastic. And so the United Nations, or the UNHCR, the branch of the United Nations that's taking care of, the response to refugee crisis all over the globe. Can you tell us a little bit of the main missions and the visions of the UNHCR and exactly what you guys do?
Yeah, I mean, UNHCR, as you said, we're part of the United Nations family. We're the agency that is mandated for safeguarding and defending the rights of refugees and forcibly displaced populations. So what part of our work is really about the rights of refugees and for those rights to be respected under international law, wherever refugees are, and also internally displaced people and stateless people. At the same time, we are keen and mandated to also provide solutions or facilitate solutions for refugees and displaced people, mostly revolving around also durable solutions. So on one side, we respond to humanitarian crises and assist refugees and displaced people when a conflict happens and they flee. So a lot of our work focuses on that immediate humanitarian assistance, but it is also our role to push for solutions for refugees. And those solutions can be return to their homes of origin when that is possible, integration in those countries that they are residing in, or resettled in other countries that would like to receive them. And that mid-longer term support also revolves around dignified life, access to opportunities just like any other humans, access to education, to livelihoods, a decent employment, for refugees to be able to lead a dignified life and support their families.
Yeah, it's incredibly important in these times, and I guess most times that the UNHCR has played a big role in helping individuals. And I think as we go along our own personal lives and our own personal journeys, we actually, most of us don't know exactly what's happening out there. And what's going on, and for our project, WEYU, to join forces with the UNHCR, it opened my eyes to some of the things that are going on around the world, and having the ability to meet a lot of these refugees and collaborate with the refugees and displaced individuals that we got to work with via our project. Yeah, it's very eye-opening that there's a lot of struggle that's going on, a lot of stuff that needs to happen, and a lot of support, and there's a wide variety of ways that many people can get involved. And so I'm learning about these ways, and I think that yeah, working with the UNHCR, it's exciting for me, my community, and the blockchain and cryptocurrency community and NFT community to participate and figure out new ways of creating opportunities for individuals that are displaced and going through some troubling times. Can you tell us currently, right now, in this time in history, what are some of the main initiatives that the UNHCR are kind of focused on, like out there? We know Afghanistan has become quite an area of problems going on. Mm-hmm. What are some of the stuff you can share that you guys are focused mainly on or mostly on?
Yeah, just kind of to put things in context, unfortunately, the human project is a flawed one on Earth, and not to be too philosophical about it, but UNHCR, we are present in 135 countries, in more than 550 locations globally, which means that there are 550 locations where we have still problems and conflict and displacement. And so that is an indication of the situation today. And unfortunately, it's not getting better. We have over 82 million displaced people, refugees and displaced populations globally. That's around 1% of the population. I mean, that's huge. This year alone, 2020 alone, we had more than 11 million displaced, only in 2020. So what's happening there? Look at you.
Let's tape that up. Continue. We'll cut that little piece out.
So you can imagine, yes, you mentioned Afghanistan, but there's so many conflicts in the world today. You have Tigray, you have the DRC, we still have a conflict there, Syria, and the Syrian refugees spread across Turkey, Lebanon, Jordan, Myanmar, so many countries, some of them that we hear about in the media, many of them we don't hear about them. I was based in Basikunu in Mauritania, where it's a place that you might not have heard of. We still have Tuareg and Arab refugees from north of Mali there in the camp. So unfortunately, the situation in conflict globally is still there. Conflicts keep on emerging. Displacement happens. So basically, UNHCR, as I mentioned earlier, we continue focusing on both providing immediate humanitarian assistance to all these displaced populations, and at the same time work with the refugee and displaced communities, work with our government partners, but also work with non-governmental partners and the private sector to look at providing the most dignified possible life for people in displacement. So we rely heavily also on partnerships to kind of bring some of these solutions and that lead to a dignified life for refugees.
Yes, that was something that I was very surprised by. You hear a lot of things in the media, you see a lot of things in the media, but that's not even scratching the surface about what's going on. And that's what opened my eyes when I started working with the UNHCR on our initiatives together. And I think with this project that we're working on together, I think that we can open a lot of eyes and get a lot of different contributors to join, different initiatives and brainstorming and helping out, because obviously we're in the blockchain tech and NFT space, and I think there's a lot that we can do in this space to spread out some opportunities for other people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I mean, Chris.
Yeah. Sorry. Yeah, it's always nice to know, like, the United Nations and these initiatives keep their minds open for people like ourselves to come in and collaborate on these things. I think a lot of tech, like small tech startups, they think that, like, thinking about the United Nations or thinking about World Vision or some of these organizations, that they're hard to get in touch with and they're hard to work with. But it's been an absolute pleasure working with the organization, and the support that I've gotten from the organization has been great. So.
Yeah, and you were, Chris, you and I spoke earlier, and you were telling me a little bit about the partnership with UNHCR in Georgia and the WEYU initiative there. So maybe you can tell us a little bit about how did you kind of end up doing this project, but also what in your view makes this project so unique?
Yeah, so you've come on board as part of the global partnership that we've put together, but this project actually started a few months ago on more of a localized level with the UNHCR. And what happened, I don't think many people know the entire story, but I've been in the crypto space for quite some time, and I was featured on an interview on Ivan on Tech with some of the social impact work we're doing with ACON and some of the work that I have done in the past with the UNDP in Georgia. So right after I did the interview talking about blockchain technology and some of the projects I'm working on, somebody from the UNHCR reached out and said, listen, we see that you're a trendsetter in the space and you're building technology to create opportunities for people. We work with the United Nations High Council for Refugees, and I was wondering if there's anything that you think your technology can be applied to help opportunities for displaced individuals. And I immediately said, like, yes, of course. Like, this is what the technology is fundamentally for, is the inclusion of people in all kinds of different suppressed places and ones that need the most opportunity. And that's a big part of this crypto community, blockchain community, has a focus on that element of things, you know, banking the unbanked, creating opportunities to take out third parties that are legitimately stealing the value in the chain of value between individuals and companies. And so we decided to put together a quick little project where we create a tool on the blockchain for refugee partners to actually paint in little pieces of popular art by NFT artists that we had chopped up into thousands of pieces. And those thousands of pieces are unique in their own right. And we've collected the metadata to kind of put them together and showcase these things individually, but they also come together as a whole. So we were able to get 144 refugees together in the area of Georgia, not Georgia in the United States, but the country of Georgia. And some of the people that participated had various backgrounds from Syria, Iran, from Africa, from South America. They came from all over the world. They participated, and we put together a project that I think is one of the most unique projects in the cryptocurrency and blockchain space. So basically, with the platform and the work that these individuals were doing, they got paid in cryptocurrencies for every little piece of art that they painted. So we taught them how to set up their own wallets and to join our platform. The language barrier was not so much of an issue because it was a real visual kind of a task, and we were able to have a lot of fun. So we've actually completed tens of thousands of pieces, and we look forward to auctioning those off. And all of the proceeds, absolutely all of them, will go to the UNHCR to support the refugee initiatives that you guys are so importantly doing. And we couldn't be more happy with not just the results, but the partnership and the collaboration, and look forward to not stopping here. So continue to onboard many of our technology partners and community partners to figure out different ways where we can help and support with this beautiful technology.
And tell me a little bit more, Chris, on both. You told me a little bit about what's going to happen with the art once it's auctioned, and like how this is going to kind of circulate back, but also what was a bit more about how refugees were identified. What was the interaction? What did you learn from that experience? Did you get any feedback? Like, what was who talked to whom? How these things kind of, I'm sure you faced challenges through and through, but it would be good to know a little bit more on how was the experience with engaging with and their participation, but also what's the
overall vision. Yeah, listen, I'm a technology entrepreneur, so there's always challenges every single day. My role is professional problem solver. So when it came to this, like working with, like, it was already a challenge communicating with the UNHCR with the vision that I had. Like, I didn't have any context on the idea. I was working with individuals that were a little bit older, so technology, and I was still placing the ideas together, but I knew that I had to work hard, especially with the in-depth knowledge that I had with all of the different issues that were going along the world, right? So it started with those kind of issues and problems, but quickly solved with just identifying a group of refugees, getting them on calls, and just communicating. That's the best thing. Whether it's a business, whether it's a marriage, whether it's a friendship, whether it's anything, communication is absolutely the key. So instead of leaving them, with a little bit of information and putting them out there themselves, every 2 days I had calls with all of them, all 144 refugees that were involved in the project. I had calls every single day with them, teaching them the tools that were on there, the cryptocurrency wallets, how to cash out or use these different bits of technology. And so, yeah, the communication was the key point of reference. And then obviously getting the feedback from them. What are they enjoying with this, and what could make it better? How much time is involved? How is the payment methods? How much payment do they expect? And we wanted to make sure that we covered a lot of different data points to make sure that this was a success for everybody that was involved. And yeah, the results are absolutely stunning. And to answer the question of like where this goes from here, because obviously we created the opportunity for refugees or anybody that's looking for opportunities to participate in this type of a work. So we look forward to releasing this platform in a more robust way to allow others to join that platform. But that's several months down the road. We want to complete this journey we have the art pieces, we've put them together. They look absolutely phenomenal. And now we're going to release these pieces one at a time in an auction format. Each of these ones will go for 1 Solana token. So a Solana token is a blockchain, a very high performance blockchain. And they have a standard that allows you to have these NFTs, these digital products. And so we're hoping to sell off all of these of one of our piece. The first piece is 6,075 pieces in total. So that will raise approximately at the price of Solana right now, that'll be 1.2 million. And all of those funds, just to let everybody know, all of those funds go to the UNHCR to help with the initiatives that you guys are doing. Now, something important to note that a lot of people, whether you're in the space watching this and you're in the space, you're going to understand this next point that I talk about. But if you're not in the space, I encourage you to explore, because what's happening in this technical realm is quite incredible. So I'm sure we see NFTs, and it's hard to explain to people what an NFT is, because a lot of them think that it's just a JPEG or a PNG image that lives on the internet, that you kind of have a cryptographic token. And even that is starting to get confusing for people. But they are much more. So each of these tokens is basically what we call a smart contract. So it just means that you have this one token, and in that smart contract, it's basically a small computer. It's a piece of code. So that one NFT by itself, you can argue that it's a computer of its own, and you can program it to do all kinds of interesting things. So each of these NFTs that we're auctioning off are not just the art pieces. They're not just a piece of art, which is incredibly unique and amazing in its own right, and by itself is amazing, but they also are attached to a whole bunch of different variables. They all have rare attributes, and I'll explain some of these in a minute, but they also have utility functions. These are going to get you access to certain things on our digital platforms. They're also going to give you access to physical things in the physical world. By the proving of you having this will get you entry into certain things with some of our partners. So it's not just about having a picture on the blockchain. These NFTs are now creating opportunities that have never been seen before, creating access points for businesses, brands, people, individuals, people in need, people of stature, everybody. It's creating new opportunity points. So just to let everybody know, when you're buying one of these NFT pieces and you acquire one, they will give you access to our platform and some of the different things that we're doing. So there's very lucrative things and projects that we're working with, brands that we're working with that are making NFTs on our platform. By owning one of these NFTs, one of these special NFTs, if you happen to get the ones that have these access points, you'll be able to get access to some of these opportunities that we are launching on our platform. We also have celebrity partners that are offering access to themselves. So for example, you have Kwebbelkop, one of our partners of recent days. He has 14 million subscribers on his YouTube channel, and he's a video gamer. And I just did an interview with him about a week ago, and we were on a street side, and kids were running up to the windows yelling and screaming like he's got more fans than you could ever imagine. And with these NFTs, if you hold one of these NFTs that he's attached to, you'll be able to play a one-on-one video game with him for half an hour, you know? So there's a lot of different things, and I employ all people to like get involved and dig deep into these technologies, because it's creating way more than just a picture on the blockchain. And we're really excited to release this in partnership with the UNHCR to showcase the different opportunities that can happen.
Thank you, Chris. And it'll be interesting. Maybe you and I will have maybe another chat once the auction is completed, and to kind of have a chat about what does that mean, and how what did also refugees in who are now in Georgia feel about this whole kind of the journey of the creation of art and its auctioning, and how that actually benefits now other refugees in other places, including Georgia. So excited to see what the outcome of the auction will be as the next step.
Me as well. Yeah. And yeah, I would just like to thank all of the people that participated, especially like the refugees that were involved. It was incredible to work with them. As you said, there's challenges with all things, and we ran into some challenges, but I will tell you that it was very limited challenges with the refugees. They did amazing. And when people see the individual artworks that are going to be released in a few days, they'll understand how much work actually went into this on behalf of the refugees, but also thanks to the UNHCR for making it possible and giving us the opportunity to get involved. And I look forward to working together on many different initiatives in this space and showcasing this to the world. So yeah, I think with that, Hovik, I really appreciate your time, and I look for, yeah, like you said, the follow-up interview hopefully is the most fun, and we can talk about the success of the auction and how that went, and talk about what's coming up with the next one.
Yeah, Chris, and maybe just to give you a little bit about kind of our approach to things. I think, as I told you earlier, UNHCR in general, and also our innovation service in UNHCR, we're very keen on working together with refugee communities to find dignified solutions. And for us, as I was telling you, we're tech agnostic. So for us, technology is a means to an end, and it could be a powerful means to an end, both on the positive and the negative side. And we're very cognizant of both the risks, but also the opportunities that certain technologies could provide to solve challenges for refugees. So like, I'll give you an example. We're now working in a number of countries in Malawi, Kenya, and Somalia to launch with communities themselves a bootcamp around the inclusion aspect of technologies and looking at disability. So how are we inclusive of people with disabilities in the use of technologies for good? So very keen on this aspect of inclusion of refugees. So when we use technology as a means to an end, it is done together with communities. We're cognizant of the different layers in those refugee and displaced communities, and make sure that we truly are inclusive, and we responsibly use technologies for good. So having an ethical approach, having a human rights-based approach to technologies is key, so that we achieve the ultimate result, which is dignified solutions and access to livelihoods to those in need. So I'm thankful for this conversation, and hopefully we can continue this.
Amazing. Hovik, yeah, it's an absolute pleasure working with you, working with the organization, and we got a lot of work still to do. This is stage one, but really looking forward to continuing this over the weeks, months, years, and decades. So yeah, I'll speak to you very soon.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.